Okay, we defined financial independence as this. Okay, financial independence. This is the equation. You're going to want to write this down. It's PI greater than set. Okay, passive income greater than savings, expenses, and taxes. This is the definition of financial independence. So when I achieve this, what does this do for me? This means that I no longer have the obligation of trading time for money. And if I no longer have the obligation of trading time for money, that means I can live life on my terms. It doesn't mean that I'm going to retire and go to the beach every day. Like for me, I'm never going to do that. I'm still going to have businesses. I'm still going to have charities. I'm still going to have things that I work, currently I sleep 7 hours a night. I go to the gym for 2 hours. For an hour, I study for 2 hours. The rest of my day is work. Right. And I'm still going to do that even with PI greater than set. That's still something that matters to me, even if I don't have to do it. Right. And so this is not having obligation to trade time for money. Work is different when you're doing it because you want to versus because you have to. This is not retirement. This is not, do something you hate for the next 40 years. So when you're 60, you can retire and hopefully you die before the money runs out. This is not that model. Like Rod said at the beginning of this call, this is let's bust this for the next 5 or 10 years and do what nobody else is willing to do in order to get here. We're not even going to sacrifice. We're going to invest the next 5 to 10 years of getting here. Even if it takes 20, most people are never going to get here. 20 years is better than never. We're going to invest the time to get to this position. And so when I started talking with some of these people, they weren't interested in the mutual funds. They weren't interested in the retirement account. They weren't interested in any of the normal things that I was offering. And so I started to have to look at, this is happening enough that I need to figure out what they're doing instead. Right? One of the things that they're doing is they're buying real assets. When I studied the top 1% of wealth, right, I would see number one, they earn lots of income. Keyword is earn, it's active. And they do that through businesses. They do that through sales. They do that through salaries as executives. They do that through bonuses. So they're trading their time, their skill, their ability, their product, their service to get active income. They're going to take that active income and they're going to put that into stores of value. A bank account is not a store of value. Okay, a bank account is an unsecured loan that you're giving to a bank where they invest your money and trade it and loan it out to other people and pay you literally like minimal interest. And they're making, 400 to 500 times on your money and paying you nothing. Right? I showed the math on this last week. I'll show it again because it's just astounding. When we look at a bank account, let me Google it right now. I bank with Wells Fargo. So let's just see what's Wells Fargo's savings account rate. And when I say I bank with Wells Fargo, I keep 1 month in cash. That's it. Wells Fargo savings account interest currently is 0.25%. I get a whole 0.25% per year on my money, right? So let's say that in my company, let's say that I put $100,000 with Wells Fargo in my savings account. They're paying me 0.25%. Guys, they are not keeping that money there. Right? I was naive. Like growing up, I thought like I went down to the credit union and I opened up my little bank account when I was 14 with my dad and I would put my money in there. And I thought that they were keeping it in a nice little shoebox in the vault. And I would come back and they'd be like, oh, we kept your money safe this whole time. Here it is. Hopefully you can go use it for good things. We're a nice community bank. No. What they were doing is they were taking this money that I gave them. Let's say I put $100,000 in with Wells Fargo. Okay. First off, let's get rid of the percentages and talk in dollars. Okay. One of the top rules you need to know is the wealthy don't deal with percentages. They deal with dollars, right? The rich focus on the dollar, the poverty mindset is to focus on percentages. Think about this. Okay. So if I have $100,000 and I'm making 0.25%, that's 0.0025. I made $250, right? Now, what did they do? What they did is they took my $100,000 and they loaned it out to somebody, right? So let's say that they loaned this out, let's say on something conservative like a mortgage, right? So they're paying me 0.25. They're loaning this out on a mortgage. Let's say that they're charging 4% interest on this mortgage, right? Well, let's do the math on this. How many times does 0.0025 go into 4? Right? So if we go 4 divided by 0.0025, it goes into it 1,600 times. They're making 1,600x on their interest cost. Guys, think about that. 1,600 times. Like, what? How? That's mind-blowing. How? Why? And why am I letting them do this? Right? Now, this is a mortgage. Imagine if it's a car loan where they're charging 7 or 8%, or a credit card where they're charging 20%. Like, just do the math on that. I give them my money. I'm basically charging them 0.25%, and then they loan it out to someone on a credit card. Okay, how much does 0.25 go into 20? 0.0025 into 20, 8,000. Right? Like, that's insane. We think about this, even if we lop a zero off the end, and let's say that they're charging a fraction of that, 800 and 160 times on their money. And it's not even their money, it's my money. That's just the cost that they're paying me. And they're paying this out of the profit that they make here. Right? Like this is what's happening. So we don't, like the wealthy, they don't save with banks, they save in stores of value. Okay, what is a store of value? Okay, if you actually study banks themselves, right? Like, think about this. If I want to learn about where to save money, I should study the people who are the best at it, banks. The number one owner and purchaser of whole life insurance in the country are banks. They keep 20% of their reserves on average in whole life insurance cash values. That comes out to over $200 billion collectively amongst the largest banks in the country.
If you're wondering, what does Wealth Dynamics do? How can we actually help you? Number one, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, grab one now. You can get that down in the comments in the video. You can get the link for that. And finally, if you have a desire to start getting help walking through these different phases toward financial freedom, book a call with my team. Go to our website, set up a call. We're able to help out and answer questions. That's how we can help you. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.